Here we go. Are you on the thing?
I'll go there now. Are we live?
Yes.
Look, we're there.
Yes, we are.
Right,
That's a good thing. Yes. We're set. Okay. Hey everyone. Thank you.
You have the introduction down pat now.
You see? This is
how it works.
Well, that was the comic relief last time. Go ahead.
Okay.
I won't interrupt.
Thanks. Hey everyone, thank you for joining us once again for another episode of Too Many Cooks in the Kitchen. I am Dana Peller.
I am Adam Potash.
Sabrina Bennardo. And Nicole Rosen.
And today we actually have, we know our names.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. I know. Today we actually have a special guest, Sabrina. We're going to have Adam introduce her after he breaks his phone.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a little bit about the health coaching program, but a whole bunch of things all combined. So once again, thanks for joining us today. We did have a show last night. Hope you got to check it out. It was a lot of comic relief.
That was funny.
Yeah. I'm still laughing about it.
Yeah.
I'm laughing on the inside.
You gotta laugh at yourself. It was fun.
We were laughing at you.
Oh, got it. That's
Exactly.
okay. I'll take it.
No.
As long as it was entertaining.
But, okay, so I don't know about you guys. My kids are on spring break.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to, get myself together. This week it's been a little bit insane.
My kids are away. So I feel like I'm on spring break.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in
Adult
Tennessee.
spring break.
Yeah. It's been good getting some work done.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Anything new going on with health coaching in general that we want to just get all the business stuff out of the way before?
Yeah, I mean, just things are really busy right now. Things are crazy. Our group sessions are filling up. Each one that we introduced are filling up pretty quickly. And we'll talk about that more with Sabrina here, which is very exciting that she's here with us. Yeah.
Excited to be here.
Yeah. She's our first guest.
I know.
Besides this one over here.
No, she's mainstay. She's
Team player.
Yeah. It's kind of true.
Yeah. Hater.
Forcing her way in here. No, it's all good. Yeah, Sabrina's our first guest, so it's really exciting to have her on here, and we have some, I guess, fun topics to talk about.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Right.
Just a little bit for Farm Fresh Meals. The special this week was chosen by the fabulous Nicole. It is cilantro lime mahi tacos.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, because you asked what the special was, and we were here in the office, and yeah.
You could give her full credit for it.
Okay, I'll give her full credit. I'll give her full credit.
It's just because I was here.
I'm so excited to make it.
No, it looks fabulous. So don't forget, place your orders by 6 o'clock tomorrow. I will be texting you.
So,
all right, so let's start.
all right, so this is really special, and actually we saw, Nicole and I saw Sabrina this week, so this is twice this week, and kind of have been talking a lot about not only the exclusive program, but we had talked to Sabrina about the group program that we're now offering, and I don't know, why don't you tell us a little bit, I guess, your background and what you do, and share with us a little bit, putting you on the spot.
No, firstly, I'm honored to be here. I'm really happy to be part of this and to share my experience because it's actually changed my life. And how much of my background what do you really, because I could talk about my background. I don't,
we were talking yesterday about kind of what you do and how now, you've kind of become this ambassador for the program, and now with these group sessions starting, how this is really your forte, and how you're going to be able to even help and launch this into even more than what we expected it to be. So,
So my career has always been a passion to help others, especially women, in their challenges and struggles in relationships, and particularly with their relationship with themselves. And I was coming from an emotional perspective because I am a trained licensed clinical social worker, and I've been in practice for over 20 years, which I can't believe already. Time really does fly. And coming to a 20-year mark and a landmark birthday, it was really a time in life that I had to step back and say, I want to take a break. I need to start to focus on myself some more.
Which we all get away from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And what was happening was that I was having some health issues, and with the health issues, and they were an extreme amount of fibroids, which I'm going to be just completely on the table here, and say, and this is big for me because I don't usually put myself out there like this, so I just want to say that, and that it was causing me excruciating pain, and my whole body was distorted. And I actually was told by my several gynecologists, because I didn't want to believe one, so I kept going to different ones, that I was the size of a 4 to 5 month pregnancy. So to add insult to injury for me, I was not able to conceive ever. So I was now in my late 40s and walking around looking like I was pregnant, and people were saying, "Oh, how far along are you?" And that was really, it was quite, it just was heartbreaking to me. And, certainly I spiraled into victim, which is very easy to do, why me? And I really went to the place of for complete hopelessness. Like there was nothing I can do. And my husband, who is super supportive, was willing to do anything and go through anything along with me of whatever needed to happen. And every gynecologist wanted me to go for a hysterectomy, and that was their go-to. It was surgery, 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 and I was adamantly against surgery. I don't even take any medications. I'm at very little vitamins and supplements right now, even, which Adam, when I first met you, you said to me, I gave him a list of all the supplements I was on.
It was like a book.
It was really, and he's like, you're not going to really need those as much. And I'm like, yeah, right. And I have to I don't know if I've told you this recently, but I really hardly take any more vitamins. I mean, you had to see me going away on the trip. It was like I'd sit there the night before packing down all my vitamins.
Your Monday, Tuesday, we've talked about that
before. And Frank was like, do you really need those?
Yeah, we're going away for 4 days.
Right. Like, nope, have to have them. So, yes, I'm on a lot less supplements. And so with the pain I was going through, and I was at the last resort. This was August of last year. Mm-hmm. And I was almost scheduled for surgery. I mean, I really was, because I just couldn't take it anymore. And it was the physical pain, it was the discomfort of just even how my body looked, and my clothes not fitting me, and it was just, and from even the health perspective, not as much as a vanity perspective, which it would have been nice at the point to have gotten that as a result. Right. I was coming from there, like, I can't live this way. So my sister actually mentioned and had talked to me about you and said that you should really, we always talk about the food programs, because we're, we don't cook, my sister and I really, so we're always looking for a really good local food, healthy food delivery service. And then your name came up, and then it was from another friend of my sister's who also had been using you, the Conscripts, and then they had highly recommended you. I'm like, well, if they're all going out, this has got to be good. So I said, I'm going to call him. And then I looked at your website and I said, okay, so I'm going to, I did use it, it was like a complimentary
consultation,
right?
Yeah,
which is
I
great.
remember that. I could tell you exactly where it was.
And that is, so I said, what do I have to lose? I'll call him, chit chat. And but the intention really wasn't about the program. I was really about the food, but something led me to schedule the call, and it was super easy. I saw you had the online scheduling. I really liked that. Didn't have to talk to anybody. I could just do it, make it happen, and commit to it. I mean, these days, really, let's be real. We all like to do things online, right? Mm-hmm. And so we had our call, and then after I hung, I just said, all right, sign me up, I'm in. I was just like, I'm in. No matter what it takes, I am going to do this as my last-ditch effort.
I was just going to say that you were at your wit's end with everything.
That was it. Before surgery, it's like, let me dive into this, fully commit, and say, I really, at this point, it was going to be an investment in myself, an investment in my health, and I believed in the program. And so I said, I'm going to go all in, like, when I do something, I go big or go home. And so
I remember
we went on the journey together.
Your health form, or you were doing something right before me and showed me like this whole packet of food that you should have been eating and all this. Remember that? That was from a gym or something like that. That was funny.
That was another, that was a 6-week transformation program through a CrossFit. Which I will,
you know what's interesting? I mean, we had so much fun, but this is such a more of a serious session today, which is, I think, is going to touch so many people that are maybe don't have the exact health concerns that you had, but some of their own health concerns and can relate. And
or they're given medical advice where they feel like there is nothing else that they can do because it's a business in medicine and that's what they're pushing, and people are, these are smart people, and so you listen. You don't think that those are like alternatives. So
right. So no, it's been an awesome journey. So your background in group sessions and things like that, and we're going to have you come on and participate in our first group session. So
which I can't wait.
We're looking forward to that, and it's kind of like full circle here, right? Like it's really interesting. So we're excited about it and having you share more of your story in our first group session, which is when?
March
28th, 6:30.
Like next week?
Next Thursday.
Wow. Okay. We're looking forward
Be
to
there.
that. So no, it's been really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm all about group work. I feel like group work, especially to get the extra support, is we need that in our lives. Sometimes we can be so isolated or feel alone, like I did in my situation.
Yeah.
So that was some of my questions. So in translating, you did the exclusive program because that's what you felt may have been best for you in this one-on-one environment.
Yes. Yes.
But your profession is in group settings.
Yes.
And how you can relate, or people can relate more to that in their environment or settings or whatever. So I think this is just going to be the best of both worlds. People that want to do the exclusive, it's there for them, and people that need that group support and that camaraderie, that's there for them as well. So, but anyways, I have some questions for you.
Okay.
All right.
Shoot.
So, you guys have any questions?
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
So no, some of these we talked the other day about these high mileage questions, and one of mine, like, obviously you just mentioned what was your why, that you were at your wit's end, and just this was your last effort. If this didn't work, it was nothing.
Surgery. Yes, I was going to go for surgery.
Yeah.
I was.
What was?
It was the last, really, but I just couldn't live this way anymore. Something had to change.
Right. What did you take most out of the program?
Ooh.
Everything. I want to write down all these quotes. She always says such profound things, and I write them down.
I actually am going to give this one to Adam because the one that stuck with me the most and made me and continues to make me keep going when I make my choices, which are on a daily basis still, 6 months later, by the way. Food is fuel.
That's a good one.
That, to me, was it was mind-bending, and because it was like, wait a minute, I love food.
Yeah.
I'm a foodie.
I remember.
I like fine dining.
Your first weeks, I think you were traveling. I think you went down to South Beach, if I remember correctly,
We
right?
went to the Four Seasons, Les Cernusses, for
Oh,
our
it's so
anniversary.
good. Best restaurant.
There you go.
Really
I don't
nice,
remember that.
and it was like it was the
That's
first
fun.
week of the program, and I'm writing you. I don't know. Hey, what do you do? This is going to be really challenging.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, and I actually look back on some of those entries. I'm like, I am committed. I am committed. That was the thing I kept telling myself because this was my life.
So your husband kind of joined you on this journey,
Yes.
and literally had results as well. I mean.
He did. It was like a byproduct now. By no means does Frank need to lose any weight,
No.
or was he looking to diet. He's very athletic. He's very fit. Has a great metabolism, and he really doesn't have to do much. Well, he is so supportive that he joined me on the journey and realized it was like, let's say, the no carbs at night. Right? And limited carbs in the day, but the no carbs at night, he'd sit and have a meal with me and say, well, if you're not, I don't need it either. And he would start making small adjustments to the way he ate. And what did he lose? 2 belt sizes?
Yeah.
Remember he was telling you?
I would see him every once in a while, and
He did.
yeah.
He did.
So
And he couldn't wait to share that with Adam. He was so proud.
But that's such a great motivator for you. Like you said, even though you were
Such a support.
exactly, like you knew you were going to do this, but to be able to have your husband supporting you and doing it with you helps that motivation that much more.
Well, I think that ripple effect too is really awesome to see and be a part of.
Yes.
What was your biggest challenge of the program? what do you have the hardest time with?
Ooh, okay, so in the beginning, I have to say, and I went back because I really wanted to remember what were some of the like difficulties because I'm here now.
Right.
So it's like anything
Oh,
else.
that's no big deal.
It's like really just like I from what I understand, even from people who have children, it's like after they have their first one, it's like I can imagine. Then the second one, they do it again. You know, it's like they go through child labor, and it's like we get further away from something, and then when we want it so bad, we're willing to do whatever it takes.
Right.
So the biggest challenge was the time waiting, like pushing off my meals for the fasting in the beginning, like feeling like I was depriving myself. There was an emotional piece for me that almost like it was a really hard,
Like lack of control.
it was a lack, it was even just a lack, like a lack in my life. Like I need to know that like there's abundance and I feel abundance flowing. And in the sense of I was restraining myself from eating, it challenged that emotionally. And what I want to add, because I think this is a really good tie-in for the emotional piece of, because of course eating is a
Yes.
whole
Oh,
emotional, so I
yeah.
will add this.
Yeah.
From not professional, but really a personal perspective, is that it tapped into, for me, I learned so much more deeper dive into discovering about myself, about, well, what does that feel like to have that lack, like why, and how anxious that made me.
Sure.
So there was an anxiety piece on top of all of it. Like, I need to know I have food.
Right.
So even when I entertain, for example, I mean, I overdo it. Like, I always, I have to have, I mean, it's always like, it's just known for like so much food, but it's part of it.
Mhm.
It's part of that.
Well, you just used a word, it's
Right.
abundance.
Yes.
Like you have to give so much, you have to put so much
Yes.
out there.
Yeah.
Yes, and growing up in a lot of lack,
Mhm.
so being raised that way,
Mhm.
and that I switched to the other side.
That's interesting too. Obviously, a lot of these things stem from our, how we were raised
Yes,
and
absolutely.
our past
Yes.
with what
What we
whatever
learn, what we
situations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what was the challenge? Was it the control, like not being able to
To
feel like
have
you
to
were
put
being
off the
restrained?
timing.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, specifically, really that I couldn't eat whenever I wanted. Like breakfast was a comforting thing. I didn't realize there was a comfort to breakfast,
Mhm.
and I don't know why. But it was just there was something about, and some of these meals were mindless in the morning, as I realized.
Right.
They were just doing it because society told me.
Well,
this
you
was
and
exactly-
you became more mindful.
Right.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
But yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all trained to think breakfast is the most important meal
Meal
of
of
the
the
day.
day.
Yes,
And it's
exactly,
not, right?
and exactly.
It's
Yes.
amazing how we can live without it.
Yes,
Right.
yes. And that just reminded me of one other challenge was when I was around others who were very indulgent and eating, and I've had a few situations as such where, and even though I might have been the smallest person in the room at the time, and that I would say no to certain things, there was a lot of feelings that came up around that I was making these choices to not indulge with, let's say, the cakes, the cookies,
Right.
the very
Sure.
the
It's
non-healthy
judgment.
choices. Yeah, so it was that. Yeah, and it was a tough thing to fit in or feel like I want to fit in or not be judged.
But not
Yeah.
And I think that's
was
such a we
something I was
actually talked
mindful
about that the other day, the three of us, like that there's so much judgment in like diet or the way we feel about ourselves. More so, no offense to you, but women, like that we
I
are
was just gonna say,
that we're in this society where we have to look a certain way and be a certain, size, and that, it would be nice if we can own our own bodies a little bit more. But like a journey like this, there is some control that you can gain, and being mindful, which I don't know, I think kind of changes that diet mindset. you
Yes,
know?
it's healthy choices.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah. What advice would you have for people maybe on the fence or have been struggling and I don't know need a little push or whatnot? I don't.
Just do it. I mean, honestly, there's nothing else to say. It's about making a commitment to yourself, which is what I did. I made a commitment to myself and saying that something, because if nothing changes, nothing changes.
Right.
Everything
How about
stays
the
the same.
people? Not to cut you off, but the people who've tried all these other diets out there. and,
Okay. This works. I always say like to quote a 12-step quote, like it works if you work it.
Right.
And that's really
True. You should
true
be ready
with
to be on the journey.
anything.
It's good to write
And
that down.
if you put
I told you
if
all of
you put the time,
We go to meetings with Sabrina and Nicole just writing
I'm
stuff
just
down.
writing.
That was a good one.
Yeah. That's amazing.
we have that much power, right? So this works. I can say this, I could add to that in the 6 years of, look, just probably like most of you that are listening, you know what to eat. You know what the healthy choices are.
Right.
You know what they are and what not to eat.
Right.
But that wasn't working for me. I knew while I wasn't taking it to the level of seeing any changes at all on the scale, except actually over the years it was going up. And up and up and up until it hit my highest of high. That's when I said, no, this is really something's got to give. So that's really the best advice is that, and then everything like gets easier. That's the other thing.
Sure.
You know, in
Comes
the
with that
beginning,
nature.
it's really a challenge, and then all of a sudden it becomes it's your new normal.
Right.
It's your new normal.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it is really a lifestyle choice.
And that's the best part. I mean, you've been here through it 6 months now?
Yes,
6
6 months.
And I have clients that have been with me 6 years and still the same. It doesn't change. So.
Right, it can't.
So do you think that the accountability helped
Yes.
along the lines?
Oh,
Because you already knew what
yes.
you wanted to eat. Okay.
There was no doubt that the app that you use, the Nourishly app, I want to really give that props.
I think you hated it and loved it at the same time.
Right. I would be writing, I'd entertain myself with some of my entries.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like, are
yeah.
you kidding? You know, and pictures and like just the struggles that I was going through, yet it actually was good because I got to journal my experience. Someone was actually listening and cared.
Right.
That was the other thing.
True.
There was that, and that.
It wasn't just you writing in a book.
No,
Yeah.
right. There was
Just
someone on the other
feedback.
side,
Mhm.
and you always gave me feedback no matter what, even if
Right.
it was a simple thumbs up. It was something.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
sure.
Like
Right.
from the simple thumbs up to the,
Acknowledgement,
the comments was so instrumental to me in this journey because by knowing, oh, I got to write this down, I would also think twice about
Or that
Key.
second cocktail. No,
Key.
just kidding.
It's all key. It really is.
Yeah.
Helps.
Very cool.
I know.
This has been such a great show. Such a turn from our norm. But no, it's awesome. You want to close out with it or ask any more questions?
Sure. Well, thank you so much because I know it takes a lot to come on and
Yeah, this is big
talk
for me.
to people, you know, about your experiences, your past, and we're so glad that you're so happy with how everything is, and we're glad that you're an ambassador.
I was
with
gonna,
us.
yeah, I was gonna say, do you want to share how much weight you've lost? But that takes away from
I mean,
how much more you've gained. You know, from
No,
What?
you do whatever you.
Okay.
Yeah,
feel
but
best.
you can share. But again, I think from all the stories you just shared, it's so much more than just the,
yes,
the,
it wasn't the
weight.
number.
That's why I didn't want to take away
And
from
I want to say, not even about the number of weight that I lost, it's that, like how I look at pictures and look at myself and some of them I'm unrecognizable, not because of the weight necessarily, the color of my skin, my tone,
Usually hair looks
a
better.
lot
and
of
feels-
things.
yeah.
There's a lot of reasons that. So from the inside out, beyond the scale, and
Yeah.
get to go
Yeah.
shopping for new clothes, but
Yeah.
that's always fun.
That's all
Right. I'm signing up too.
Very cool.
But no, we appreciate you sharing your experience with us. I think it's really important because a lot of people, they see all these different programs out there and they're like, oh, you know, this is real. Sabrina's right here. We can touch her
Yeah.
and poke her and I mean,
Yeah.
experience everything with her. So if you have any questions at all about whether it's the exclusive program or the group program and you want to leave it in the comments below, you're not going to do it now? It gives me such a hard time usually because I'm like,
It's my favorite thing to do because you see it all on like YouTube of people like post subscribe here and like I always want to do it. So and I always miss my cue. So
like that.
yeah.
So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them below and we'll be sure to get back to you if you have any questions for Sabrina directly too.
That's part of her like role now, right?
Oh, boy.
Like, no, she's actually volunteered to help in any way, and obviously being part of the program, she can maybe relate a little more than just coming from like the coach figure like
Of
that or
course.
that parent figure who you don't want to listen to, like someone who's been there.
It's that third
done-
party, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
someone
so
that's been
important.
through it and really knows the struggles.
Absolutely.
That extra layer of support that you need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happy to be there.
So
Yay.
I know, it's so exciting. Do you guys have anything else?
I think that's it. This is awesome. One of my favorite shows yet.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. Tune in next Wednesday night. We are cooking. Actually, we're doing our cooking episode next Wednesday night.
What's cooking?
We are making a Mediterranean chicken.
There we go.
He's looking at me like,
yeah. I remember now. It's in the calendar.
That's good.
And Thursday is the start of our first group session, so be sure to tune into Facebook and Instagram. We'll be giving you updates on how that's going, and then we have the next one starting the week after. So we have a lot of fun things going on.
Yeah. Cool.
So, thanks
Really
for
exciting
joining
stuff going
us.
on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
This is awesome.
And we'll see you
All
next
right.
week.
Bye.